It is really an exciting world. Okay, I'll just give you a brief introduction. Huh? Look at this. It's a Seagate hard disk, right? And 1 terabyte. That's the capacity of this particular hard disk. Very simple, right? 1985, 1990, I was having a computer, and it was 1.2 GB with 32 MB RAM. 1.2 GB, and this is 1000 GB, 1 terabyte. So 1980, and now we are in 2015. Look at the number of mobile phones that you have. Combine the processing power of those mobile phones and compare with the processing power of a computer in 1980s or earlier. How much times that increases? 10 to the power of 10 times the processing power increased. Moore's law says that every 2 years the processing power doubles and the size is halved. But now Moore's law went into a limit. You cannot make something more faster and more smaller. We are reaching the threshold. So in the hardware industry, 10 to the power of 10 times increment. What about software industry? What did you do in the first programming language? Okay, what did others did or what others do? They write some loops, iteration. There are some statements, some selection, and they wrote the statements in order, which is sequencing. So if you look at the programming model, like Uncle Bob said, sequencing, selection, iteration, right? And today you learned the latest language. What is the latest language? Julia from MIT. Or take Scala or take Java. What are you writing? Sequencing, selection, iteration. Nothing changed. The software did not change, but hardware 10 to the power of 10 times. We need an Isaac Newton, we need an Einstein, we need a Steve Jobs in the software world, correct? Who can change the way in which the things are processed. Of course, for me, it's a king of innovation, right? Google. They came up with a beautiful paradigm. Distribute computing without much failover. Because coordinating distributed computing is a big problem. The Corbett designer once said that one of the biggest problems in distributed computing is handling the failure. You need to write a lot of coordination. I have written it a lot and I know the difficulty. Even for writing a multi-threaded program in Java using java.util.concurrent, the usage of semaphores or mutex events, all that concurrent concepts and writing it and making sure that there is nothing failing, and if suppose one thread is failing, how to restart that particular thread? Oh my God, it's difficult. So Google came up with this particular paper, and some intelligent guy took that paper and then implemented a beautiful framework. Told that, okay, do the distributed programming. Do not let your data move, but let your computation move. And they called it as MapReduce. And that MapReduce they created in a custom file system. And that file system they called it as Hadoop file system. And this Hadoop file system and MapReduce together they called it as Hadoop. What's the advantage? Or what are we going to get from this Hadoop? And why this Hadoop is coming so, buzzing, and it is very common today when you talk about big data. The reason is increase in data. Okay, how many of you can show me an album of, let us say, 200 photos of your father's birthday in his 25th year? or maybe in his 50th year. Very less. Very less. Reason? The storage was costly, the internet was not prominent, and there were no mechanism of these YouTubes of the world or the Facebooks of the world at the time. Only possibility was store it or print it in a studio and then keep that photo on the wall, right? And that's the only copy that we have. Today, oh, when my son is playing soccer, there is a photo. When he's taking a turn and getting a trophy, there is a photo. When he's eating in a nice manner, there is a photo. When he's playing with me, there is a photo. 15 petabyte in Facebook one day. What is a petabyte? Just search in the Google. Like that, you look at the WhatsApp messages, how many are going in the world in one day. Look at the amount of conversation that is happening between call center and the customers in a big financial giant industry. Data is growing. And when the data was growing, there came an equally needed application which can process this data. For example, look at the millions of WhatsApp messages going across or the millions of tweets that are going in Twitter. Can you show me the top 10 trending topics from Twitter? Can you show me the latest 20 topics within the ages of 25 to 35 from Facebook? Can you group that information? For example, look at the call logs that a customer is going to have with a call center agent and then find out whether the customer is satisfied or not by doing a mining on that text. You can do it, and in olden days everybody did it in one single computer because the data was small. Now that's not the case. The data is growing. You need data analysts, you need data scientists who can efficiently write massive parallel programs in order to drive value from this vast information. That's where big data is coming in. Come 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, it is going to be an age of data analysts and data scientists. Won't it be good if you are not, if you are thinking of understanding these things and learning these things? And the best, I will give you the best. Starting from Hadoop, starting with MapReduce. You yourself will become the data nodes in the class. Each of you are going to become a computer. And I will distribute the file to you and you will do the computing. And we will do all the practical examples. We will use Hive, we will use Pig, the data warehouse extractions on the top of Hadoop file system. Then we will use the tools like Scoop and Flume to bring the data from structured to unstructured, unstructured to structured, all that kind of things. We will touch upon Spark, high-speed MapReduce. We will look at why the MapReduce first version failed and why they came up with Yarn, yet another resource negotiator. We look at Kafka, how the real-time messaging can be processed leveraging Hadoop. We will also look at machine learning algorithms. How will you do recommendations? How will you do classification? How will you do collaborative filtering? It's passion, and it's an offer by Passion Bytes. Price is comparable, much less when you compare with the industry on the similar course. and the curriculum is vast, almost uncomparable. I did a very deep search on whether somebody is coming near to equal with Passion Bytes curriculum. So without much ado, I do invite you, please apply and join the first batch. Let's have fun and let's make our career more stronger, more better, more safer. Thank you.